Let's start with a cliche that every marketer agrees with. Brands cannot do without marketing. But the interesting question is, can all brands not do without marketing? Or are these just the brands that sells consumer facing products like speakers, toothpaste or streaming subscriptions? Take Suzlon for example. Suzlon is a wind energy brand and now they're expanding into more renewable energy services. And it is a non-consumer facing brand. But they have this huge marketing plan out there. They are doubling down on branding. To understand where marketing lies in this brand's story, we have with us Dharini Mishra, Chief Brand and Reputation Officer, Suzlon Group, to decode what B2B marketing looks like for Suzlon. Dharini, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I want to start with Suzlon's current place in the industry. You guys have healthy order books. You guys are basically the pioneer in wind energy industry. Why do you need marketing? I mean, what exactly is the need of the hour that Suzlon is marketing itself?
Firstly, it's nice to be here. It's very good to have conversations which are about marketing and branding. But to be fair, Suzlon has never been the kind of company or brand to look at things in very cliched terms of marketing, branding, advertising. That's not what we do. What we essentially do is engage in whichever activity we feel is important to carry our mission forward, right? At Suzlon, this is not the first time we are building a brand or we are getting into full-on advertising. We've been doing this since 2005, the first time that we came out with our IPO campaign. It's the first time when Indians actually saw wind turbines on their screens. Most people didn't know wind energy existed, right? Thereon and thereby, we've done a bunch of campaigns which have been in India, all over the world, in our European markets, back in India, mainly around the premise of renewable energy. Why renewable energy is critical to human progress, air pollution. We did pals around air pollution. And today we are talking about the new future, right? An energy intensive world which is in the making and how this is going to increase the demand of electricity exponentially and why Suzlon and renewable energy need to drive this transition. Now, the need for all these branding campaigns can be summarized in the view that my late founder Sri Tulsidanti used to give me. He used to always say that we are not going to look at brand building as a business activity. It's not for selling turbines. It's not for profits. We are going to look at brand building only with the purpose of making climate action mainstream. It's a mission. It's a purpose. There are some purpose-driven brands that I know of. Suzlon is one of the leading ones. My entire branding activity from the beginning till now has always been towards the purpose. So if you're a purpose-driven company, it doesn't matter whether you're B2B or B2C, you would want to communicate, you would want to build a brand around that purpose, and you would want to use all kinds of marketing to kind of further that purpose, right?
So, a twist, I actually asked such a weird question on purpose because I wanted my viewers to actually see that marketing is not a B2B thing or a B2C thing. And here brings me to the main question, the real question. Do you think that marketing in B2B is underrated?
Absolutely. Completely. There are two largely misleading beliefs that the world holds. One is that B2B companies are boring. No, not at all. Yeah, but we also have ourselves to blame for that perception because we don't put out our interesting stories, right? So B2B companies are not boring. Secondly, B2B companies can benefit hugely from marketing. Not just, like I said, in terms of sales also, but not just sales. When you talk about today, most B2B companies are struggling with talent. Yeah, you need fresh, new, highly qualified and skilled talent to take your offerings to your customers. Where is the talent going to come from? If you don't employ a brand, if you don't go out and talk to the people, talk to the kids in colleges, don't talk to the youngsters who're just beginning their careers, that's where they lose out. B2B companies also need a lot of marketing because at the end of the day, they sell big ticket items, right? Their ticket size is big. When you're buying something which costs you about 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 15 rupees, you don't so much care about the brand. But if you're going to invest in lakhs and crores, and if that investment has a long duration of return,
Your sales cycle is what, 20 years? 25. A wind turbine is supposed to
25 years.
25 years?
Yeah.
That's huge.
And you want that ROI to come over 25 years,
Yeah.
you definitely want to partner with a brand you can trust. How are you going to build that brand if you don't communicate? So, B2B companies do market. People don't see it that way. Secondly, it is still under leveraged. I think there is far more leverage in marketing for B2B.
So 2 questions just so that we can get more depth out of how B2B marketing is working right now. Firstly, and this is a hypothetical question, if tomorrow you remove all marketing and communication from Suzlon, right? What is the first thing that gets impacted?
Everything gets impacted. So we did this mock kind of a scenario in Suzlon. I said, you know what? I'm going to remove the logo from every single turbine, every document, letterhead, and go out and sell. Yeah, because generally in B2B companies, you'll have people saying, "Arey yaar, we can sell, our products are so good, they sell themselves, our technology is so cool, my sales team is so good," right? The litmus test is, let me remove my social handles, let me remove my website, I'll take away the logo, yeah, go sell. And you will realize that, forget about selling, just the confidence of that person who walks into a customer's room with your product offering without the brand, without the communication around it, without the image that the brand carries, that confidence is finished, it's over, right? So it's not a brand, it's not marketing, it's who you are, it's your identity. You need your identity. I have found that B2B companies are actually more dependent on the brand than B2C companies are. It's just that they don't realize it that much.
Oof, that's a statement.
Yeah.
We'll put a flash on this statement. Okay, and now that we know that marketing is extremely important for a B2B brand, I want to know from you, for Suzlon, who's your primary audience when you market yourself, when you communicate? What exactly is that cohort that you are targeting?
So, the primary mission for Suzlon, like I said, through their branding was to change consumer behavior, was to make climate action mainstream. Now, when I say consumer behavior, I'm not saying customer behavior. My customer generally knows me. It's a very select group of people who understand the business, who I have very close relationships with. But through my communication, the people that I target is the consumer, which means every single person who uses electricity needs to hear the Suzlon story. And not just the Suzlon story, also needs to understand renewables, and also needs to, at some point, I'm hoping, stand up and demand green energy. So there are countries in the world where the consumers can actually stand up and tell their distributors that I want 25% of green energy in my bill. Yeah, and they pay a premium. I'm hoping there'll be a time when people all over the world will stand up and say, we want green energy in our homes, in our systems, which will then push the distributors, which will then push the generators, and thereby the whole cycle will become transition. So if the pull is from the consumer side, then transitions and transformations happen far more faster, and thereby Suzlon has always targeted the end consumer. That's one very, very important segment. Of course, then I told you we work in very, very remote areas with communities around our operations, which are very important for me because they are partners in our progress. We work very closely with them. So that's another set of people who we really want to take along our journey. And because they are from a certain demographic, it's very important for us to educate them. So a lot of my branding effort goes into communities. It is also extremely important, like I said, to get the right talent. So employer branding. Every young engineer, every young business graduate, every young person who's looking for a fulfilling, meaningful career, come join Suzlon. We are looking for good energy people. So that's another big target audience for me.
Now we have to put this video on LinkedIn. I mean, you just put out a job posting out there. Well, that's great. I mean, and this is something that I noticed. I mean, Suzlon is a multi-decade-old brand, right?
Yeah.
And because I was asking what the primary audience is because not long, like a decade or so ago, it was primarily industry stakeholders. But now that we see after the IPO, now you are communicating to the broader masses,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And what is the one thing that you think is the best ROI, the metric that you're going for? Because you've mentioned many. There's communities, there's talent, right? But
Yeah.
one metric that you're specifically prioritizing when you're marketing your brand to the broader mass now.
I actually measure my annual performance and my team's annual performance basic metric, which is called the reputation index.
Okay.
So we have a rep track that we do every year. And how is my reputation or how is my brand image moved from a certain point year on year across stakeholders, and they all feed into a single metric. So my reputation score is what is most important to me. It's just that it sits on top of the feedback from every single stakeholder, right? So that's my number one metric, yeah.
Now, talking about the refreshed brand identity that brought us all here, this is happening after 15 years.
Yep.
And it is coinciding with a phase in the brand's journey where, as you said, the reputation was being challenged on various terms. So, was it strategic? Was it a coincidence that you chose this time to refresh your identity, or it's just a happy accident?
No. I don't believe in happy accidents. I'm a planner.
Okay.
The way that this works is, it's very important, I think, for brands to sit on top of the business, right? Your brand cannot tell a story if the business is not acting that story. It doesn't work. Your brand can keep building itself into something, but if the business is not supporting that story, the brand fails. Yeah, you've seen many, who go out and they paint this lovely picture, but the performance doesn't support it, you fail. So this is the time we went through a crisis, sure, but we came out of it in 2020. We've had last 3-4 years of excellent performance. We've built that foundation, and now we are set to kind of take off, right? So there is an entire business transformation which happened, and I have just layered my brand transformation on top of that business transformation. I could have done this earlier. We had an opportunity to do it last year as well, but I did not feel that the business was ready yet. So I did not want to put out a brand which was hanging in air without the support of real performance. And thereby now we are at that stage where my business is ready to support the new brand. And so it's a business transformation, which has also led to a brand transformation.
Before we dive deeper into the brand identity getting refreshed, I want to understand, and I am expecting complete honesty here. Do you think that companies or brands overestimate the power that they have over controlling the narrative? I mean, can you really control a narrative in such a post-truth era?
You can never control narrative. You shouldn't attempt to. You should just put out the
Or how
truth.
much control you have over the narrative?
No, so the way that I look at it is a brand resides in the mind of the consumer. It's not what you put out, it's what he understands. He or she understands, right? So the narrative may be something you can craft in a room and put it out there, but the truth of that narrative that resonates with the consumer, it depends on his experience of the brand, and that is the real brand. So in my opinion, you cannot control narrative. You shouldn't try to control narrative. However, you must create a compelling and honest narrative. If your narrative is honest, if it's inspiring enough, then it resonates with the people and they take what you give. But it's only about how much they take, right? So that's why we do these continuous checkbacks with our stakeholders saying how have they understood it and how do we need to course correct? Because at the end of the day, the narrative resides with the consumers, not with the brand.
Okay. And now coming to the refreshed identity, and you have, you have changed your front-facing brand at a time when a lot of brands are in the same race. I mean, you can name multiple brands that changed their identities and some landed in a fiasco.
Yeah.
Right? I want to understand, is it really prudent for a brand that old to refresh itself? And what exactly is the problem that it solves?
So, I honestly believe that you need to be courageous. Yeah, you can't be scared of how are people going to see this and is it going to fail? Is there going to be a backlash? I honestly do not believe in being fearful when it comes to putting your mission and your purpose out there. I'm very confident of my brand. I'm very confident of, the promise good energy is that work. I believe it's very true to me, and so I'm going to speak it out as confidently as possible. Maybe there are a few people who don't like it, don't agree with it. They're welcome. Everybody is welcome. The views are welcome. But that is not going to stop me from putting my brand out there. So there's no fear. However, as you said, is it prudent for an old brand? See, usually if you go by the science of branding, every brand over a period of 20-30 years does need to refresh itself. Because what happens is the consumers who are consuming the brand at that point where you started, in 20-30 years, they're also aging, they're moving out, you have new consumers coming in.
Do you think that time window has shrunk?
Yes, I do believe it has shrunk. I would now ideally put it at 15 years. I would say 10-15 years, just refresh. Maybe not change entirely, but definitely refresh, because things are changing fast and behaviors are changing fast. People are looking at things differently. And just a simple refresh can make you far more relevant to the audience than you probably are right now.
How central is the logo in your refreshed identity among the other elements? Or is it not really central and other elements are more powering?
See, it's very fashionable to say that the logo is not really central and, my promise and all that. But just going by the visual exposures, right? A B2B company or a company that doesn't advertise heavily doesn't give that much exposure to its visual language for it to become the lead factor. Ideally, your logo should not be the most important thing. Your visual language, the tone of voice, that is what should become identifiable. But that requires certain minimum amounts of exposure. I have to expose people to that language so many times. I don't think B2B companies do it enough, and thereby the logo becomes important. I'm not taking any chances. I've ensured my logo is fantastic, and so is the visual language, whatever my consumers want to anchor with. But yes, ideally, the logo shouldn't be as important as your overall experience of the brand.
I mean, what we saw today on the screens, it is very impressive work. Interbrand and Bang in the middle are the two players behind this vision that has now become reality. I want to understand, on the visual identity that you guys created, right? It has so many creative aspects to it. You have some good campaign films, or should I say, why don't you guys advertise heavily? I mean, we don't see you in high impact properties. We don't see you in some experiential things.
You will.
Okay.
You will. So we start the campaign tomorrow. We wanted to talk to you first, friends from the media. But starting tomorrow, we will. Incidentally, for the last 2 days, we've been running a teaser kind of a campaign on Instagram. We've been trending for 2 days. You don't know it's us because it was #good and #good energy is spreading. But we've been trending for 2 days. And now that we do the reveal, we will go ahead with a pretty massive advertising campaign.
So if you can walk me through this massive advertising campaign, I would love to know how the media mix looks like. What are the, budget pies that are going into it?
So we have a very interesting mix. So, people keep saying TV is dead. Every few years something is dying. I don't go by that. I look at my audiences and where they're engaging with me. So we have TV. It's not my lead medium, but it's my second medium. My lead is actually digital and outdoor. And in outdoor, we go very niche. So for example, we do a lot of airports, we do aircrafts, we do prime outdoors in metro cities, which is where a lot of our audiences are. We do a lot of digital activation because we find most of our audiences not just there present there, but also engaged there. They're the ones who engage there more, right? Connected TV is great for us as well. Then we have print because all said and done, at the end of the day, print never died. It never went away. It's pretty much there. It's very strong. And for us, especially an energy company who also has a certain amount of relevance for policymakers, etc. Print has an important factor as well. Having said all of that, I do a lot of events and activation. Okay, even today, one of the lead drivers for my brand are events and activations, and that happen across. So like school programs, college outreaches, right down to industry outreaches, and then leadership programs like Davos and global programs like FT Energy Summits. We're all across. So yeah, a lot of events and activation.
So, and this is something we have written about very, very in depth, that how B2B brands are tweaking their marketing levers, right? And amazing work being done, of course. I see a lot of brands that have associated deeply with properties like IPL. As Suzlon, why do you think IPL is not a direction, or is it a possible direction?
No, IPL is very possible a direction. Why not? Absolutely. It's just that we didn't launch at the right time. If we'd launched around the IPL, I would have been there. So if my launch had happened in, say, March, April, I would have definitely ridden on IPL. I think it's a fantastic property, and I think B2B brands have a lot to gain from it. It actually is, it delivers a lot in a very short span of time. So for brand marketers, a lot of our metrics and targets get met very quickly. So IPL is a great property. Actually, even women's cricket is now.
So you're planning to do all of this next year?
Hopefully, God willing, if everything aligns itself, yes, we would want to get into these mainstream properties. Yeah.
Do you think FIFA aligns with your marketing plans?
Yeah, we are talking about it.
Okay.
We are talking because it's very recent, the development of the
Yes.
broadcaster. So we are just talking about it. We'll
Okay.
figure.
But
We'll see.
but are you comfortable with such a small window where?
Yeah, that's the only discomfort. The window is very small.
Right.
But otherwise, it's a great property. So we are seeing what best we can do with it. FIFA also has a lot of global kind of, outlook for it. So
Right.
in some of our key markets in Europe, it's very popular as well. So
Right.
yeah, maybe.
Is it a maybe, or is it
Maybe.
a?
No, it's a maybe.
Okay.
It's a maybe.
Because so I did a few reports on how marketers are dealing with FIFA as a property, and all the marketers that I spoke to, all the agency people that I spoke to, told me that brands have an upper hand in this situation and they can get really good negotiations.
Yeah, that's what I hear. But I'm just busy with the launch right now, and then I have to kind of address that. But I'm hoping that's true, because then the maybe becomes even more compelling.
Right.
But yeah.
I am very interested to know, because right now, and don't take this otherwise,
Yeah.
Suzlon as a brand, people get educated about the brand more through the stock markets,
Ah.
right? The day traders, rather than the marketing initiatives that you guys are doing amazing work in. Retail investors have taken precedence, right? How do you think it has changed your marketing lens now that retail investors, I would say it is a boom, right? It is a boom that has kind of changed corporate marketing. So what is your take on it?
So thank you for asking that question. It's so interesting, and I'm going to answer this the way Mr. Tanti had once, Mr. Tulsi Tanti had answered it to me. He used to say that, so just for your information, today Suzlon is amongst the top 5 Indian companies in terms of number of retail investors.
Okay.
Is that massive? Right? And it's a B2B company which does wind energy, or used to do wind energy, now full stack, but yeah.
Right.
And imagine that company being in the top 5 in number of retail investors. Yeah. So I used to talk to Mr. Tanti about this sometimes, and he used to say it's a measure of trust. That man who doesn't understand wind energy at all, he doesn't know your customer, he's just a simple Indian.
Right.
He's putting his little bit of money that he has in your brand. That's a measure of trust. So he used to take it very seriously. He used to be like, we need to create value for our shareholders. While stock market and share price movement is not in our hands, it's an organic outcome of everything that happens. But for him, it was important that the shareholder who's putting his trust in us is not let down, right? So it's an important segment. I'm not going to deny that. How has it changed my marketing? Not so much, because I always was on that path, right? My branding effort started from the IPO. And so the retail customer was very much at the center of it, even when I started. And I think the way that we've kept the consumer connect on, we do that organically. They are kind of a part of our audiences that we address primarily all the time.
Through all those media mix
Yeah,
channels
yeah,
that
yeah,
you
yeah.
just told me.
Absolutely.
I was looking at the numbers on the screen, and you guys recently published your results, which
Yeah.
were very healthy, right? Um, in such a scenario where you have a very robust, book in the picture, how much is allocated to marketing? I mean, is marketing a prominent,
It wasn't
chunk
so
in the
far.
budget?
So, in the last few years, as you are well aware, till 2011, we had a lot of brand building, and then the company went through a crisis. During crisis periods, most companies will obviously not brand. And so, till about a year back, it wasn't a very prominent spend. There was no reason to. But now, with the rebrand, it is going to be a prominent spend, not just this year, but over the next 2 or 3 years. And then we hope to consolidate at a industry benchmark percentage of revenue. That's how we want to peg ourselves at.
Right.
So yeah, that's what we should do.
So again, like, what kind of CAGR can we expect in the marketing budget now that you have your
So
refreshed
I just want
identity?
to peg myself to revenues. So my whichever way my revenues grow, a certain percentage of that revenue should come to marketing. My industry average at this time is 1 to 2% of revenue.
Oh,
That's what my sector grows at, but the revenues are high. So I'd be very happy with that.
Okay. Okay. And talking about allocating marketing budgets, when a brand like yourself and where you are in the journey right now, generally people, when they are structuring, they go for agencies on record. Right now, of course, the refreshed identity was done by Interbrand and Bang in the Middle. But was it a project-based association, or do you see a longer association here? Or
No,
okay.
Bang in the Middle has been our agency on record for the past year and a half. So they're there. Interbrand, of course, came in for the rebranding, but they have a couple of years more worth of work with us. We have our PR agency, which is also on record. So Suzlon actually believes in long-term partnerships.
Okay.
And thereby, most of our associations and agencies are on the record. Yeah.
Who's handling the media?
Media currently is handled out of Innoshin, which is a Hyundai company out of Delhi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is on record, or like this is
It's all on record.
okay. Okay.
Suzlon, all our agencies are on record.
All right. And when we talk about how these agencies are right now, the health of the industry, a lot of marquee brands, a lot of traditional brands, they've gone in-house, right? There's a huge consumer durable company that has an in-house creative agency, right? And they're very proud of the campaigns that are churning out, are being churned out from that agency. What do you believe? Do you think that agencies on the table are better than having something in-house?
No, it's a journey, So I have a fabulous in-house design studio.
Okay.
They do some kick-ass work. Actually, a lot of the ads that come out from Bang in the Middle, they work very closely with my team. They work together and they put out great work. But for us to work as a full-fledged creative agency, I don't think it's worth the effort and the investment because we want to go on an asset-light model for everything that we do. And partnerships is the way forward, not just for marketing, but for Suzlon 2.0 in general. So we want to be able to forge partnership for all non-core activities, and advertising is non-core. So it'll, I believe it will continue to happen in a partnership model. Having said that, there are some capabilities which are naturally going to be coming in-house to companies, whether agencies like it or not,
Right.
with AI and, just
Which
so
are?
much of generative AI. So a lot of generative AI is now making copywriting, content writing very in-house to us. So for example, with the new brand, there's a certain brand voice which has been defined. I'm using agentic AI to just ingrain that brand voice and ensure it goes across all my content. That is definitely something that we are going to do in-house now, right? Helps us with keeping the narrative consistent. A lot of work with creative AI tools especially image generation, video generation. So I'm seeing a lot of video generation becoming in-house as well, especially for socials and digital.
Right.
So yes, there are certain elements which
You're
will
also doing
find
it socials ke
some.
liye in-house
Yeah,
kar rahe ho
both.
aap?
So some of them in-house, some of them with the agency.
Interesting.
I'm actually now looking at creative agencies also as strategic partners. So they will be instrumental even now in giving us the right strategies. As far as the actual creative pieces or content pieces that come out, it's going to be a mix of in-house and agency, and maybe over a period of time, a lot of it will become in-house.
Maybe our industry gets a new term. I mean, there's an AI centric term which is called humans in the loop.
Yeah,
Our advertising agency can have the term agency in the loop,
agency in the loop.
right?
Probably.
So this brings me to the last segment. Of course, looking forward to the future. As Suzlon expands beyond wind into other broader renewable energy services, how do you plan to evolve as a brand? Because right now it was very clear that you are wind first, but as you move forward, as you expand, how do you protect the core message, the core ethos that you guys have been carrying for decades?
No, so I think if you look at my new promise, which is good energies that work, we have carried forward the element of good energy, which is what we were associated with wind energy, but at that time wind was the only good energy you had. Solar joined the party later. So we've taken the good energies from there. But if you see the visual language, if you see the way that we are telling our story, we are ensuring that we have a lot of yellows with the greens because the yellow comes from solar. We are ensuring that all our imagery has industry scale solar farms and battery storage. So it's going to be a lot of visual cueing. A lot of color cueing as well, but at the same time, because digitization and intelligent energy systems are also very critical, the shift in the color of the logo to a more bluer kind of green, which brings in the digital aspect of it, I think visually we've taken care of a lot of these things. Now it's just a question of consistently putting that message out. It's going to take a while because wind and Suzlon was so close that to actually make that transition, we are giving ourselves about 2.5 to 3 years to completely switch over. But I'm very confident about the way that we are talking and the way that we are looking now. It should be easy.
So it is safe to say that Suzlon will be advertising aggressively and marketing aggressively for the next 3 years to achieve where you aim to.
Yeah, but I don't think aggression is the right word. I don't like aggressive. But Suzlon is going to be advertising and communicating assertively over the next 2 years. 2.5 years to make this entire transition happen. Yeah.
And in this journey, do tell me about one misconception about B2B marketing that you're gonna outrightly destroy.
That B2B marketing is boring. Boring is a word I hear so often with B2B. It's just unbelievable. At the end of the day, it's all people, right? A CEO who sits in an office and signs a multi-crore order is also the same guy who gets into his car, rides the same road, sees the same hoardings, goes home to his wife and his son, probably, takes his daughter to dance class. He does the same things that every consumer does, right? It is, he's not boring. Yeah, he's not boring. I was just talking to one of the other media friends and I heard that there was a CEO of a big utility company. He would cycle even to a media interview. Yeah, and he was a good 50 years plus. He's not boring. He's very interesting. I would love to do his story. So Suzlon is going to break the myth that B2B marketing is boring. I'm going to tell interesting stories because they exist, and I'm going to humanize B2B companies because we are human. And actually, to be honest, we are very, very good humans. We are good energy humans. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's bang on. And of course, interesting stories are what is expected out of brands, right? As journalists, we love when a brand just surprises us. Like, this was not expected out of them. So on those lines, you have shared a media mix with me, right?
Yeah.
It has all the pillars that a particular brand uses to kind of get their marketing messages out there. One medium that you're most excited about to even try new things on. I mean, of course, TV, print, digital, this is the new normal, right? it's not digital anymore. It's just marketing. It's not digital marketing anymore, right? Tell me one platform or one medium that you're extremely excited about, right? Which can actually surprise us all. I mean, I'm not telling you to tell me the surprise, but of course, do tell me the medium where you're gonna experiment the best.
So I'm very interested in experiential marketing.
Okay.
Okay, I honestly believe that brands are not seen or heard, they're experienced. Right? And so far, experiential marketing has been all about events.
Right.
किसी से भी you talk about experiential marketing, they'll say events. I am going to try and redefine that. Experience is not just about events. Experience is, it's, I don't want to actually say it out loud,
right.
but it's also just sitting on a bench.
You were
It's
very close
also-
to.
Yeah, I was almost
Spilling
there.
the beans.
Yeah, but experiential is also just about sitting on a bench or just taking a walk in the park. And how do I make that into an experiential property for Suzlon is something that I would like you to be surprised with over this year.
No, but do tell us, like, what are those? Not what you're doing, but what are the other avenues other than events when it comes to experiential? देखो,
So, you know,
marathon
everything-
हर कोई कर रहा है.
नहीं यार, वो सब छोड़ दो यार.
Marathon is everyone's doing it.
No, we're not going there.
Right.
You know, I want to create experiences in what you do on a day-to-day basis. So you go shopping.
Right.
Yeah, how do I change that experience for you? You go dining. How do I change that experience for you? You go for a jog in the morning. How do I change that experience for you? You go with your kid to a basketball game. How do I change that experience for you? So that is where I want to. I don't want to create a separate experience that you have to go to a certain place and, you know, indulge in. I want to change the experience of life as you see it every day. And how can Suzlon help in doing that? That's going to be something that I want to work with, and I'm very excited about it because we have some very good ideas in the bank, and let's see how they roll out. Some might work, some might not, but it's very exciting.
Awesome. And I think this is the best note to end this conversation. We have a lot of surprises in the pipeline. We have a lot of interesting work in the pipeline as claimed by you. And because I cover this industry, I'll be closely watching and observing
Sure.
how this journey pans out.
Absolutely.
Till then, thank you so much for giving me your time, and thank you so much for being so interesting.
Thank you so much for calling me. And yes, B2B people are very interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you.